Hi, this is Roger Lee of Art Framer for Process Art Discovery, and I'd like to show you a little bit of my finishing process. So what you're looking at here is touching up the corners of a wooden frame. It's not too common that we get an absolute seamless corner from the cutting and assembling process. And this is just, a little touch-up that deals with the minute inconsistencies of a corner join. And there's these beautiful wax-based putties that I can get from my suppliers in different wood tones, and gold and silver. And a tiny little chopstick, would you believe it, is what I use as a little tiny palette to apply a bit of this wax onto the cracks and corners and then smooth it away. Always important to keep my workspace incredibly clean. And in the case of putting anything upside down, I'm going to be extra careful that there's nothing that can scratch the frame, the face of the frame. Now these are steel pins that go in to hold everything in place. Sometimes in the past there have been tiny nails that you would tap in with a tiny hammer, but boy is that tedious. So this is a nice spring-loaded pin. Sometimes we call it a gun, but anyways, it's one of the hand tools that are very important. Another one is a two-sided tape dispenser. And that again is a really easy way to be able to put the paper, the finishing paper, onto the back with a nice tight seal, which is good for keeping out, I'll say it, sometimes there are insects, things on the wall for a long time, over time, tiny little insects can get inside and lay their eggs and then grow, and I don't need to tell you that. Some of you know, you had pieces on your wall for eons and generations, and you wonder, how did those little bugs get under the glass? And another crucial part of this papering is to hold it together so that it doesn't move and bend or sway, and everything stays tightly as it ought to be, and the glass doesn't slip out the front. For instance, sometimes if it's a large piece of molding or on a large piece, you want it to stay close and tight to the interior components. A tiny bit of sandpaper helps me perfect the edges. Also pens. Again, here we've got the touch-up putty. There's also colored pens that I can use to dot the outside corners. And, I have a keen eye for detail. I'm a bit obsessive, but I think it's good for my profession. Little pen. It's all papered and touched up. And at this point, after I do all of this, I would give the glass a final polish so that the front of the piece is entirely finished. Nothing left to worry about as I turn it around once again to put on a hanging wire. Some parts of it. A lot of moldings have various tones in the same piece. As you can see, there are darker and lighter browns, so thankfully these putties come in different shades, and I can also mix different shades together to get the exact tone to fit the area of the molding. The idea is to have it appear seamless. Nice easy flow all the way around. Then the final touches, I want to place the hanging wire roughly a third from the top, or 2/3 from the bottom. A little drilling of a little hole. Often what is used most often are what's called D rings. It's a steel ring in the shape of a D that gets single screwed onto most pieces. Heavier, larger pieces, there's different hardware that incorporate more screws and more solid, greater weight bearing capacity. Same as the wire. There are different calibers of wire that can hold up to 25 pounds or 48 pounds or 60 pounds. So it's about cutting it to the right length so you have a little excess to put a framer's knot that has a little bit of give, but it can't come undone. It can't unwind. And then it also looks tidy. Of course, I want it to be tidy looking. Final step, my little identification stamp, and then a sticker that indicates the kind of glass we've used. In this case, it's the, I like to call it virtually invisible, but the company, the professional name of this glass is AR70 from a particular company called True View. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to know more, you can check out my website, artframer.net, or come on into my studio, 1125 Pacific Avenue in Kelowna, weekdays 10 a.m. till 4 p.m.